What's up? What's up? It's comic book time. I'm up before 12 p.m. in the day for the first time in like fucking 8 years, I'd say. It feels like my sleep cycle rescheduled, but I'm gonna go through some cool comics with you guys today. These aren't superhero comics. These are kind of like comics that I think are really wicked that really don't get shown that much. So hopefully you guys see some cool new things. Starting off, we got Goddess. This got turned on to this comic book after I saw it on Comixology, so I started using that app. Saw this, decided to pick up a issue of it. It's by Garth Ennis, so like if you've read the Preacher comic book, it's pretty much the same thing. So like, but it's like either the prototype to it or what's up, Hans? Either like the prototype or what's after. It's like the female version of Preacher. But like the artist, he uses, I want to say probably acrylic paint and maybe gouache, and he's just super fucking detailed. Like you look at Jeff Darrow, the guy who did Hard Boiled, like look at that, so many people. And I love the colors. Like he doesn't go hard on the black lines, and then waboosh. None of these comics are for kids, by the way, but yeah, look at that, it's crazy. I love the text, so like that's one thing I've been trying to do a lot here recently, is get better at the text. The pow, last comic I did that. Like, look at that, man. Isn't that wild? This comic is off the charts. So if you like something like Preacher, like very similar vein, but like with a bad, like, I don't know what the story is at all, but she's a badass. Like she's got magical, crazy powers. Like, check that skyline. Like, that's such beautiful perspective. So dope. And the colors, like, look at that. Like, that pop red shit, man. Like, that tells a mood if you ever want to tell a goddamn mood. You got your CIA guy, like, ooh, what's up, Sabrina? Yeah, and then this dude's like this comic book is so fucking 90s. Like, it was made, like, mid-90s, like, the most metalhead thrash motherfucker. And then there's shit like that. So, this book is pretty ridiculous. I got this book and some other books to show you guys today. But look at that radical shit, dude. Like, here, let's see if we can get more to the... Back to the... Like, there, look at that. There's an airplane... or a ship. I think it's a ship. There's some... big ass thing inside a ship, dude. Like this comic book said, hey, let's go off the rails like all of this guy's comic books do. But look at that, boom. It's so good. Like if you want to draw off the walls action like 90s style, which is in my opinion some of the greatest 90s like action shit ever. Oh wow, look at that. It's just, look at all that text, dude. Like, those enhance it so much. Like, okay, this is fucking genius, man. Like, how can you not think this is the dopest thing ever? There's like oh man, it's just not, like, when it gets crazy, it gets crazy. There's a collected edition of this. Look at that, dude. But that's pretty pricey. But you can find like dollar issues of these pretty easy. You can get you can find most of the run for like $1 an issue. Oh, see, yeah, now she's going super crazy. God, look at that. Look at that. She's about to fuck shit up. Yeah, that building just appeared out of nowhere in Antarctica. Man. Like, it's just super, super awesome. Like, look, okay, so look at that panel, man. Look at the texturing on that shit, dude. Just beautiful color work. It says, fuck like the lazy, flat coloring. Like, let's say more with our colors, with our line work to make the whole thing. And then they're stranded out there in Antarctica. So that's pretty dope. Again, this comic, Goddess, pretty dope. I enjoyed it. Got a couple issues. There's like 8. There's 8 issues in that series. So it's a pretty long series. I enjoy it a lot. This next one, You Are There. It's by Jean-Claude Forest and Jacques Tardy. I'm going to fuck these names up today. But yeah, Garth Ennis and Phil Winslade did that comic. But this one's pretty cool. It's pretty surreal and like chaotic too. So pretty dope. You Are There. It's a hefty boy. So we're just going to find some spots. There's some cool things like the story. Hey, what's up, John? The story's about this dude. Like, it's a really surreal story. There's this wall fence type thing in this village city thing, and he's like the security guard of it. But he's kind of not smart and not liked by hey man, anybody else for good reasons. Kind of incompetent, but so this is more like the cartoon. So this is from France. They do the more cartooning style of comics. That's, at least for my line work, I have a huge influence by them. You can tell so much, like, you don't have to, like, look at that face. That's pretty dope. Yeah, let me find, yeah, and then he finds this girl and kind of falls in love with her. Let me switch hands so you guys can see it this way. And then the city kind of falls apart, and it's just a weird comic, but like, yeah, look at this. It's just great line work. He can tell a story. It gets pretty surreal too. Like, hello, and very naughty too. My bad. Yeah, there's a submarine. Like, it just gets off the charts. But then, like, then there's a war, like this. I can't even look at, like, how do you explain a story with this going on? So this one, I mean, it's pretty satirical. It's pretty text heavy. This guy is the guy who did, he did Barbarella, that super famous movie from the 70s. The writer wrote the comic that movie was inspired by. Look at that. I mean, the amount of time it would take just to do something this perfect for one full page. Look at it. And it starts on this page. It brings you, it says, hey, we're coming. And then boom, 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 boom. Feels like jail, but it's like, God. As an artist, I know how long that takes. And fuck no, dude. There's no way I'd have the patience for that. Look at my stuff. It's pretty Dr. Seussy for, look at that panel, man. You get the moon and atmosphere from it so hard. And now that I'm looking at that panel, honestly, I'm seeing a lot of Richard Corbin's work. So if you guys are interested in Richard Corbin, that's the guy. His comics, he's like, you could say underground artist. He started out as an underground artist and has become kind of legendary. But his color work is what really influenced the color in my comics. But this scene is very reminiscent to what he would do, but he does more fantasy, high fantasy, or sci-fi type. Not fantasy. Sci-fi or horror. Yeah, no fantasy, but sci-fi, horror. Look at that panel. That's dope. I have a friend whose ship is sinking. Literally and physically, like, it's pretty, like, if you want a weird story, check this out. It's hard to describe, but the work this guy does is dope. Very clean. This is my favorite. Look at that. Like, literally his ship was sinking. But that's my favorite panel in the whole book. That is so good. That is fantastic cartooning. Like, so if you're into weird stories that it doesn't really have there's an ending-ish. but it's not a happy ending. So this is definitely a comic for that art style. If you're into this, so kind of some, you could even say almost, I would say reminiscent to Mike Mignola in Hellboy, with how he does such stark white, black and white, and it's just heavy, heavy. You know, very reminiscent to him. But yeah, no, it's a pretty cool thing, man. It gets weird and crazy, very satirical, very, you know, it's what I would say almost. I don't know. It's a hard one to describe, but great. If you want to know how to tell a visual image using black and white, like this is some of the best stuff. Like it's not super high detailed, so there's no muddy grays. It's either black or white, and it reads beautifully. Because even if you're doing color, you want it to read beautifully. But yeah, just that interesting book, you know, kind of really off the cusp, you know. It's absurd, surreal masterpiece, you know. Masterpiece, see? That's what I said, but it's interesting. Stories, meh. Art, great. Next one. This one I'm super excited about. This is Shiraz D. However, I'm not going to say that correctly ever, by Sergio Topi. Again, I apologize if I'm saying it wrong. I'm the worst when it comes to that. It's the Arabian Nights, so kind of like hey, Brian. It's kind of what the... it's Aladdin. But this dude, look at I have to pull back so fucking far. It's a big comic. Like, there's my hand. Here's a comic. But line work for days. Look at that shit, man. You know how I was saying the last... so good. So good. This inspired so many artists. So, like, if you did Warhammer 40K in the late 90s, early 2000s, one of the artists is like incredibly inspired by almost this image. Like he's influenced a lot of people. Bill Senkevich. I apologize with the names. He did Elektra and one of the Elektras with Frank Miller and a Daredevil story. He's a great artist. Very, very influenced by this guy. I know that's the first page, but... published by Archaea. They're not really... Well, they're around, but they're a subdivision of Boom now. So... Man, look at that. Flowing. Oh, I'm going to tap this. Look at that beautiful shit, man. What's up, Melanie? Like, this guy's art, like, very different kind of visual storyteller, as you guys will see. He more does splash pages, so almost single illustrations per page. Yeah, look at that man. Woo! He is so good. Look at all those different patterns in that texture. It's chaos, but the chaos is patterned in the correct way that you just get dope shit. Just chilling, looking at comics, man. What about you? How you doing? Like, boom. So good. This is all like, so this is inks, definitely, and he does pencil underneath. You can tell in later pages, he didn't erase the pencils. He did it first, so look at that. That's a comic book page. This is a comic book. You know, not like the normal comic book, like traditional comic books. A comic book. And look at that. That's a city. But when you get up close, it's like, what the fuck are all those shapes? But it reads it's a city so well. Look at that hand. Hands are so difficult, and that hand is beautiful. Beautiful. Boom. You see? Like, non-traditional storytelling. It's so good. So good. And the stories he tells are actually really, really good. Like, if you take time to read the dialogue, he was a great artist in that his dialogue told a different story than what was being shown. Is like it was a complete piece. If you had this without the words, it wouldn't make sense. If you had the words, it'd be okay, but without the fucking pow of the visuals that it creates. You know? It's so dope how it just flows. Big ass knife. That'll fuck somebody up for sure. So yeah, I'm going to flip to the next story. Again, look at that. Well, let's not show that. I didn't realize what was on that blade. Peacock, the black and the white. Look at that, like that yin yang. That's a straight up homage to yin yang, you know? He did so much of that great equality. And then, pow, you go to the next page. So you're like here, and the next page, ooh. You just see how well that reads? And then it all comes down to them. It's all, so he's been going on this long journey all by himself, and it all leads to them. Like that's pro storytelling if I ever had to tell a story, which I've tried a couple times in my day. Look, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if he is the Joker, but he gave him a, not the Joker. Yeah, well, like the Jester gave him a Jester's hat. Pretty dope. Again, that badass blade. It's repeated throughout this whole story. Well done to him. Look at that face. Look at that. Look at that. Boom. It just, the faces are so good. Like you can tell he draws from life for sure. Look at that. Look at that. Like, oh man. Such great storytelling. You know, you can't tell which one's the face when you first look at it. You're like, oh, there's two faces. And then when you look in closer, you're like, oh, okay, that's the real one. That's such a cool trick. You got them. All right, let's flip a little bit further. Whoop. Boom. Just dope pieces. So yeah, what this is it's, oh, look at that. That is so cool. It's a bunch of short stories, like the 1001 Arabian Nights. There is no one that's like Aladdin. Like this is such a cool story. This one's one of my favorite. Like he's on this journey to make it to this obelisk. Look at that. Look at that guy. That's so cool. But this big ass obelisk, and nobody can touch it or reach it or something. Something like that. Again, it's been a while since I read these comics. And I can't look at that. That was a quick story. Look at that. That was it. But the word, like, you read the story, it's very poetic. It's just been a while. I should have flipped. Oh, I wanted to react. Look at that devil type. I don't know if it's devil, demon, genie, maybe. Oh, you see what I'm saying about that Mike Mignola, dude? Look at that. Hellboy. Pre-Hellboy. Because this was made probably, I don't want to misquote him, but 70s, 80s? Sometime in there. And then this look at that. That just blank white. Separated by the black line, dude. And then look. Look at that. Just random ass squiggles. So many squiggles. Squiggle, squiggle, squiggle. Like each panel. It's just so dope. And look how he does a great job. Pow, 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 pow. Pretty dope, yeah? Oh, and then there's some color work. Sasha, we'll definitely take time to do this color one, because this color work is beautiful. Man, he does a couple of colored pieces in this. Oh! And I'm just like, man, this guy should have just colored everything. If he told less stories, but it was painted like, look at that, painted like this, you would have my money plus some. Oh my God. It's like ink washes. It's color. So he uses different colored inks. That's not just black ink. Like he uses different colored inks for different sections. He kind of partitions it off like an animated cartoon. Look at this cartoon. Oh man. Oh man. It's great comics. Look at that palette. That is a beautiful palette. That's a palette I love. That's my favorite palette. If you ask me, hey Scott, what's your favorite all-time palette? That color scheme, when it's used, that pow, 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 and a lot of black, oh my god, nighttime or dark, but then you get look at that opal. So that's a dude just painting, but that's an opal. Like you would say that, you look at that and be like, oh, that's an opal, beautiful colors, and then black, and then you get the mixture. He brings the light of the opal in with that dark background. So dope. Look at that face. It's so expressive. So there is a genie. Here's the genie in the lamp. Not maybe genie in the lamp, but genie. He did the colored genie. All right. So kind of Aladdin. Man, I just like the dope artwork. I need to go. Oh, look. See, that is a beautifully, beautifully rendered face. Like, you pull far back, that's perfect. His tones on it are just photorealistic. Well done. Well done. It's almost like, reminds me of Kim Jong-gi almost too. But way before woo, that's a beautiful piece right there. Look at that architecture. Just those random space. It's almost Dexter's Labby. There's sections of it that are very Dexter's Lab with how they use their shapes just to build shit, Again, just beautiful. Beautiful job. Arzak reference by the great Jean Girard, I would say. Kind of reminds me of it. Oh, man. This book, I don't know if it's still in print. I know it was in print for a long time, and then it went out of print, and the price has jumped up a little bit on it. And I don't know if they put it back, but something tells me they went back down recently. I want to say, I hope so, because, I mean, this is so beautiful horse. Look at that, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, another, like, tone-wise, beautiful, beautiful thing. But I got, just flipping through. Oh, this is more like oh, man. So dope. Good shit. So, yeah, this is Shiraz-D, Tales from Arabian Nights. It's by Sergio Topi. Pretty crazy visual storytelling in that one. But I got one more. This one's pretty cool. This one, it's put out by a comic shop. It's not a actual comic. It's just a series of illustrations, but some of this shit is amazing. This is Object 15 by Killian Ng. Such great shit. Like, this is some of the best artwork I've seen in a long time. Yeah, dude, it's a dope one. Like, if you can get anything by like Sergio Topi, or this one's pretty cheap too. This one's still in print. Both of them are just radical fucking art. Yeah, here we go. Look, whoa, hits it big. And then he does a great job, like, doing these small little characters too. Look at that. And you just pull out, and it's this great landscape. But he does a lot of sci-fi stuff. Like, whoa. These are big pages too. Like a black. I love how he layers it. So as it goes further into the background, his like line work lightens up a lot. But does it really tastefully too, so it doesn't look all digitally pixely, Yeah, he's just this dude's got some dope. I think that's rad. And look, there's like the, glare. There's another house, like the worn down house. Look at that, man. It's pretty dope. And then you get that ominous reflection too of the house. Very negative vibe, like almost poltergeisty, you know? Very cool red glow. And these guys, dude, look at that. It's pretty wicked. Right, man? Like, this guy's crazy. So this is the third book in the collection. He's got 2 others of just his stuff. He's done amazing works. Yeah, he's also done a couple of heavy metal covers, too. Like, it's so detailed, and you can tell that background from that foreground so well. Yeah, I was stoked to get to this guy's book because it is wild. Just the atmosphere he builds with those glows, too. And then look, there's people looking up at it, too. Like, so detailed. And this great orb, it's gray, you know? It's that gray orb that just kind of shimmers, and then that huge light of like, oh shit. Black and white piece. It's pretty dope. Yeah, look at that. Looks like eyes. Eyes almost like skulls looking in the background of that single traveler. I don't know if he's going in or out. I'd say he's going in. It looks more ominous. I think it would be happy if he was leaving it. I think he's getting ready to go into that. That's what my guess would be with like how he lit that piece. He does great glows. Boom. Hope you can see that. It's like pointillism. He's got a sword. He's ready to fight. I'm noticing details that I'd never noticed in this thing before. Go like great work. That's pretty dope. That's cool. Have I read Reborn? So Saga I've read. I did the first. I got through the first thing of it. I think once Saga finishes, I'll pick it up and read it. It's hard for me to like wait. I like getting the complete story. Oh, this is a full piece that just travels along. That's dope. Great job breaking it up. But yeah, that has that same digital art feel. I totally get what you're saying on that. Big ass jungle. Like, whoa, that's a single piece. It's really dope. You get this citadel thing. Cool looking people. Sorry. Focus. You can do it. Yeah. Panther. Like, look that guy in the background. Like, there's so much detail in this piece. That looks like eyes. Looks like a giant monster in the back ready to just pounce out. But it makes sense because you get the feeling that it's like that is a big forest out there, and you have no idea. Like, look, that could be another like almost forest spirit type thing. It's really cool what he hides in there. That's so dope. Yeah, such beautiful work. And again, I can zoom in here. He packs so much detail into every single thing. That's so cool, dude. And that bridge that just cuts through. His depth is amazing. Such great depth. Little people. Yeah, so Amazon has most of these books still, but it's so cool. It's so rad, and that's dope. Like, you can tell, like, my thought on this is like, this is his place. He's the king. He's like this billionaire guy who's figured it out, and like, this is what he's built in his spare time. That's like his real project, and you're like, what the fuck is that? And it's when it's only him by himself. Is it like, bring it out, you know? Kind of really reminds me of Akira too, like Akira inspired wardrobe for sure. Oh, that's dope, dude. Capullo, I love Capullo. Capullo is he's one of the greatest, like, especially expression artists ever. Yeah, dude. So this one is Object 15 by Killian Ng. Yeah, I picked up. I have the first volume of Court of Owls, and that was just so dope. I loved his work in that. People have said really good things about that Reborn Batman run. I'll definitely give it a shot. But yeah, this is some dope stuff. Again, the vibe of this, I get, like, if he had colored that red, it would be such a, like, negative, because it looks like a cult meeting, you know? If he had done it red, it would have been so ominous. But with that blue and the yellow, very happy. Oh, yeah. So I have the very first trade of Spawn. Like the first, I think, 4 to 6 issues. And then when Jason Shawn Alexander got on it, I picked that up too, because that dude's got like the perfect horror art ever, and I love it. They're going towards something. Looks like it's almost post-apocalyptic, and there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and I'd say, or he's shooting something. Oh no, he's shooting that thing. Oh, he's going to take something on. He's shooting that motherfucker. I'd say, yeah, that's what that is. All right. See, never mind. Maybe not as happy in that one. Yeah, I remember seeing Capullo's art in the Spawn run, and that always looked wicked. That was super dope. Yeah, just crazy. The amount of pointillism that he does in this too is just insane. It's absurd. The amount, like, oh, here we go. This big guy. This one's my favorite one in this piece. Like, we're gonna take some time on this guy, because we'll start with the big boy. It's lighted so well. So cool. Such a cool design. And then he just cuts these guys in, just to be like, yeah, I am that good of an artist. Looks like almost bumper cars in that, you know? Yeah, dude, I'll definitely check out Capullo if he's throwing in some cool things too. But yeah, this one is dope. Then his other color stuff. Yeah, this is a cool artist. You know, it's hard for people to argue the medium of digital art when people can make stuff like this, and it's like, it doesn't look corny. It looks like people, like, you can make some cool shit. That is dope. There's there's a person looking out to that body. I'd say it's like what it was. Okay. I didn't know Capullo did any indie stuff. That would be really dope to check out. Yeah, it's this guy's. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so that's like the. Oh man, I feel like he's the ghost landlord of this building because, like, when you look in, look, they're all a bit transparent. I didn't even notice that until now. But, like, yeah, oh, you get a Mobius, definitely, and a Akira mix here. And then the sun just kind of in the background. Wow. That's so cool. That is dope. It's been a while since I've looked at this, obviously, man. I just. Woo! Okay, it's the details. It's just those yellow specks that push this depth so hard till you get to that glow. Oh my god. Then he throws in these guys, the orbs, give that further depth. And then this guy. I don't know what we can see in this guy. Yeah. It's like an alien, very alien, and he's got so that thing is disconnected from that thing. That thing looks like it's its own thing going on in the background. I don't know if it looks like I'd be worried about that. But with how much city is here, I don't think they're worried. That's probably like their mecca, which is crazy. Oh yeah, dude. These ones are dope. All right, so check that out. What is that the same person? I think that's like, I think he's protecting that person. That is so cool. Oh, look at that. That's radical. And then you go to this like masterpiece of a dystopia. Hey, Don. Oh, the pinks. Oh, it looks pink here. It's a little more blue and purple in the actual comic, but that glow upwards with these buildings that are just not. They're not like symmetrical. Like there's some ruin to them. That's cool. That is so dope. And then you got a guy and I don't know what the hell that is. Maybe it looks like they're friends. That like they're side by side. You got a couple people. Maybe yeah. Oh, it's just that glow and then the street light. So you go purple glow in the background, orange glow in the foreground. Oh fuck, that just makes it pop. Yeah, dude. Oh, see that's cool. It's like he looks like the puppet master behind this thing. Or he's dead. They're both dead. Oh, they're both dead. He's like, oh yeah, no, these guys are the puppet masters behind them, I think. You can interpret however you want. Look at that. Oh, and then you got look at that. There's the eyes. Just barely visible. Like dragon eyes in the background of controlling all of it. You don't even notice that. That's a new detail for me. Oh my god. And oh, that's a dope piece. Those eyes really make it super dope. You get this guy. Looks like the savior to this ragtag group. But I don't know what the that thing is. Maybe he's got him hip. I don't know. It's really interesting. It's interesting for sure. And then you get this guy. Such a dope contrast. Oh man. And the colors in this are actually deeper than what you're seeing here. So if you get it, man, look at that. Look at those just pop. So dope. Yeah. That is cool. You know, looking at these in the past, like I'm starting to like look into his far backgrounds now because he hides more. I don't even think I noticed the person when I was initially looking at this. I just got caught up in the detail of the people. Because they're so dope. That reminds me of like Windsor McKay Little Nemo. the line work of Mobius. Look at that robotic cool shit. Dang. So I'd say my first thought is like probably a former dictator that everybody hated. Well, maybe, no, that would be torn apart more. So maybe just a social icon that had a fall from grace that was once the top. Now we're just like, fuck her. We're just going on with our life because we got to live in the shit while you were being BS. That's just my first thought to it. So they tore her to fuck. Whoa. That's so cool. His color usage, his light to dark is awesome. Right? Yeah, yep. I agree. So let's see. Are these guys like... Looks like they're just trying to get through. This would be an interesting... I'm not even sure what... Because it looks kind of like play-ish, but very decayed, too. Like, this was once like almost a Disneyland-ish thing, just with the more whimsical shapes that he's got here and the colors. But then here it's like... Looks like they're just trying to still get by and survive, you know? Very ambient work here. He likes doing a lot of these very alien, I'd say, forest. A lot of it kind of comes off very forest. Yeah, these are just his single illustrations. So he does all the work on it. Killian Eng. But, yeah. He's got some radical stuff. We'll do like a couple more, just because. I mean, there's a good amount of stuff in this book, and I could spend forever looking through it. Look, there's. Oh, never mind. I thought that was a person, and there was like, oh, we're giving this even more scale. Yeah, I would love to learn what his process is, because I can only imagine. Like, what I'm thinking is he probably goes in with pencils. Really loose lines, and then goes through with a pen, picks up what he wants, and then takes it into Photoshop. And once he gets to Photoshop, it's a lot of, I'd say, vector layers, but then he's also messing with the color of the initial black lines that he did too. It's just dope. Whoa, look at that. That's cool. It's like a almost sci-fi medieval war zone. I feel like they battled like almost robot medieval style. Dude, I completely agree. Oh yeah. There's a lot of as they get closer to the end. There's a lot more double page spreads because it's just insane. But yeah, I totally agree. Look at that! Look at those people. I totally agree, man. Like absolutely 100%. Come on. There we go. Look at it. And then you see, he just says, not only am I going to make tiny fucking people, I'm going to push that background so far back that it's just like the depth. And then you bring it up and you're like, oh my. Right? You go so far back and then so far in. And look, he's going to throw some more detail in here. If I can get it to focus. Look at that, man. It's like an army. Yeah, that's an army. Those are dudes with javelins, and then it goes out. This is like the almost living evil thing. I think they're going on to, I don't know. It's like the living castle, and it's the army, man. And then again, it goes way into the background. Okay, so I'll end with this. This is a good way to end. This is the cover that they use for heavy metal. I actually have that right here. So, oh, that's so crazy. the music issue of heavy metal, right? The same one. So that's super dope. Some rock and roll stuff. So there was an 80s animated movie called Rock and Roll about like a post-apocalyptic thing, and there's this pop icon that's trying to summon the devil with his music, and this awesome band has to stop him, but there's like Blondie, Cheap Trick, like the voice actors are from that. But it's pretty dope. But yeah, so just to recap the comics that I showed, so there's Object. Dude, it's a great YouTube. It's on YouTube for free. Check it out. It's pretty fucking cool. So Object 15 is this one. That's the illustrations. And then the first one, or the next one I did was Sergio Topi, Arabian Nights. Again, that was the beautiful pen work going there. Great stuff. And then before that, there was You Are There, with more the French simple cartooning with the surrealist story plot. And the last one is, and you'll probably like this one a lot, is Goddess by Garth Ennis. If you liked Preacher, pick yourself up some of these issues. I know Second and Charles has some. It's like almost a prototype to Preacher, but with like, look at that. Crazy, crazy stuff going on. So if you can, find some of these issues out and you'll probably like them. But yeah, that's Goddess by Garth Ennis and Phil Winslade. But yeah, that's the comics for today. I'm gonna go work on my own comics now. Hopefully you have a good rest of your day. And yeah, see you later, man.